Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for the Walking Dead universe and another video for the Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. This one going to be discussing the ending of Daryl Dixon Season 4. We're going to be discussing how the show could possibly end given the filming information that we know and why I believe that this show will not be the ending that we all want. So, yeah, obviously Daryl Dixon wrapped up filming just a few days back. Norman Reedus made a statement about it, obviously, and we covered that in its own video as well. I got some of your guys' feedback on that as well in the recent Q&A video. Well, I wanted to discuss just simply the conclusion of this show and what it seems like to me, because honestly, it's seeming pretty obvious the way this is going to go down. So, obviously, we know Norman was filming in Spain for the entirety of Season 4. Portugal was another one that he was filming in briefly, but for the most part, he stayed in those two locations. And it sounds like in even the final days of filming, he was still filming there. I don't know if it was Portugal or Spain, but it was one of the two. Regardless, I don't know what the fuck happened, but he did not go home. For whatever reason, he did not go home. Now, obviously, could they have filmed a sequence overseas with an American flag showing them arriving home on a boat? 100%. There's always still that possibility, so I wouldn't rule it out 100%. But I will say I'm pretty certain, like 90, 95% even, that he did not go home at the end of this show. And he probably just was riding off into the sunset on his fucking bike or some shit like that. So, honestly, here's my thing with this. I just don't understand what the point was of this show with him trying to get home the whole time, if he doesn't get home. You know what I mean? I don't get that element of the show at all. So I'm hoping that I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong, because the entire purpose of the show was for Daryl to get home. You know what I mean? Like, the moment he showed up in France, he was constantly trying to find a way to get home. He was trying to find ways. He was interacting with a bunch of different people that he didn't even want to fucking interact with, just so that he could finally get his ass back home and get his ass back to the people that care about him, and etc., etc. Then you have Carol that literally goes overseas on a plane, which is a big stretch in reality, but regardless, she gets there, and, you know, she looks for Daryl. She finds Daryl somehow, which the luck of that is insane, let alone. You know, who's to say that you don't go over there on your plane? While you go there, Daryl's on a boat on his fucking way back. You know what I mean? Like, that was a risk that she took either way. You know what I mean? And then imagine she couldn't get back, and then she's the one stranded. You know what I'm saying? So that was a big risk. But she found him, right? Despite everything, she found him. And obviously in Season 3, the whole thing, they were trying to get back, building a boat, getting on a boat, you know? Like, they went to the UK, trying to get home. They never stayed away from that mindset. And then all of a sudden, now you mean to tell me Season 4 ends, and he's still in Spain, and there's no reunion with Daryl and Laurent? There's nothing with him and any of our survivors? Like, here's the thing. I think we're all expecting Rick, right? I'm not even talking about Rick here. I'm just talking about common sense in the writing department. Where's his reunion with Laurent? At the very least, you know what I mean? Where's his reunion with all these other characters? Because I guarantee you it's not in this, you know what I mean? So, if that is how this show ends, and he's just stuck overseas, and there's no way around it, and that's just how the show ends, I'm going to feel like I wasted my time, genuinely, because, like, that just means that we watched a European vacation for no end results, no big thing. And I know people are going to say, well, Dan, you got to remember, there's going to be probably more shows after this. Doesn't matter. This show, let alone, the premise of this show as its own standalone thing was about a guy trying to get home. They failed on their mission completely on this show, if this is how this ends, which it sounds like it is. So, I don't know. I don't know what goes through Gimple's head, thinking that people are going to be satisfied with this. Is he trying to dissatisfy the fans? Is he pissed off that people don't like the direction of the franchise, and this is his punishment for us? I don't fucking know. But I'll tell you one thing right now. Gimple is not in this to make people happy. He's not. He's not in this to give people brilliant writing. He's in this to genuinely just piss people off, probably. Or at least, at the very least, do what he wants to do and not give a shit about what people want. You know what I mean? Now, here's the thing. In writing, you can't do fan service all the time. Because then fans will just expect to say, oh, well, we want this, we want this, we want this. You know, like, you can't do that. But what I'm talking about here is a common sense middle ground. You can do some things that the fans want you to do. You know what I mean? While still maintaining a story. He is just fully maintaining a story and not doing anything else. You know what I mean? And that's the problem, is that I find, like, well, answer me this, y'all, and honestly, I might even do a poll on this. Would you consider yourself satisfied if Daryl doesn't go home at the end of this show? Answer me that. And I'm not talking about other shows. I'm not talking about what they could do in the future. I'm talking about just this season. Let's say this is the end of Daryl Dixon, which is how they're hyping it up to be. Let's say in an imaginary world, this is the final batch of episodes of Daryl Dixon, and he stays in Spain. Would you say that Daryl in Spain, stuck in Spain at the end of this show, is the correct ending and a satisfying journey? I don't think a lot of y'all would say it is. I would hope not, because that's a ridiculous way to end his character. And again, I say end his character because that's the advertising they're going with right now. So we have to look at this as a ending until they say otherwise, right? So in that case, I would say, no, it's not satisfying at all. You know what I mean? So, I don't know, y'all. I'm going to try to see this out. I'm going to try to see how they conclude this. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because the third season was good and the first season was good. I would appreciate if the fourth season was good. But at the same time, I'm not holding my breath no more. After hearing that, it very much sounds like it's just going to be more of the same, which is unfortunate because I really wanted to see him go back to America. You know what's funny? I'm a pretty simple guy. I didn't even need him to see any of our characters. I know that that's going to probably happen in another show. The very least you could have done is get them on a boat, sail back, they go there, they see an American flag as they get to shore. You could have filmed that in Spain easily. And then they arrive, on land, and then Daryl's like, all right, where do we go from here? You know what I mean? And then this next thing that they do, maybe he runs into Morgan, maybe he runs into other survivors out there, and you do it that way. That is how they should do it. So, yeah, no. Honestly, I tell you what, they really are failing at an opportunity if this show ends with him in Spain. That's all I'm saying. So, anyway, post your comments down below, guys. Let me know what you guys all think. Do you think that's how the show ends? Do you think they're swerving us? Let me know. If you're new to the channel, guys, and you enjoy videos like this, make sure to click subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos. Sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official on Instagram, guys. And, of course, I'll see you guys really soon for more videos very soon. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.
Born in the dark alleys, city of concrete. Dan's reviews blowing up, never taste defeat. Walking Dead dissected every plot twist beat. World gone mad, TV junkies hit a treat. Typing up scripts, marathon through the night. His opinions hit harder than a street fight scene. Every episode, brain sharper than a knife. He's the beacon of critique, shedding TV light.